Welcome back, everybody, to NFL Head Coach 09. We're in episode 37, and today I think we're going to see some of the biggest change in the series that we have since the first year ended with us being fired and moving to a brand new team that we never saw coming. We have made it to the playoffs 3 years in a row. We have 11 plus wins 3 years in a row. If my job were to have enough success to have a secure job in this game and to just keep trying here with the Atlanta Falcons, we'd be doing a great job. But I want to win a Super Bowl, and I don't think we can do it with the team we have right now, and specifically the quarterback we've had for our entire stay in Atlanta. I simply don't think we can get there with Matt Ryan. We have seen him over the years in this series play at a slightly above average level and a significantly below average level. I think this is actually a more extreme version of what you've seen with Kirk Cousins in real life. I think Cousins' highs are higher and his lows are a bit higher than what we've seen from Matt Ryan in this series, with all of his interceptions and mistakes that have caused us to lose games that we really shouldn't have. The interceptions are one of the main issues I want to move on, but I've also looked around the league and seen other quarterbacks do a really good job. The past 2 seasons, Troy Smith has become the franchise quarterback of the Seattle Seahawks, throwing for over 30 touchdowns in these 2 seasons. And those interceptions, 12, that's all right. He's playing at an above average level. Seattle is obviously winning games. And he's a lower rated player than Matt Ryan. Alex Smith just had a 51 passing touchdown season with 24 interceptions, but that is a ton of touchdowns. 47 the year prior. And I could handle Matt Ryan's interception count if it came with more touchdowns. But unfortunately, that's just not the case. Ken Dorsey, 84 overall, similar rating to Matt Ryan. He's putting up 43 touchdowns after a 38 touchdown season. Ryan gave us 20 this season, and he did miss some time. He's been missing random games, it seems, for a while in this series. I think if I go to the general tab, 12 this year. Now, also we have to look at games started, because there were games he started and did not finish, and this doesn't show the playoff games that he has not been a part of. Oh, wait a minute here. Missed assignments. This game keeps track of some interesting things. Missed assignments. Alright, I'd like to see that for another player. Let's go Jared Ballard. He was just a rookie this year, and he started pretty much every game. 2 sacks, 75 tackles, 2 picks, 7 deflections. But obviously he had to learn the playbook along the way. How many missed assignments? 5. How about a veteran like Michael Boley, who's been in the defense the entire time? How many missed assignments does he have? That would only be 2. Now, how about Lito Bushrod? I was playing him after signing him immediately. Can a running back miss assignments in this game? Yes, he missed 9. So it is important for players to know the playbook in this game. Anyway, we've talked about the issues around Matt Ryan in this series, it seems, the entire time, and we always end up in the offseason and can't find an easy way to move on, so we don't, and then we go through it again, and the cycle continues. We are breaking the cycle this year. I want a new quarterback on this team, even if they are lower rated, even if we're not confident in them playing better than Matt Ryan, because we know we need to find a higher level of play. On top of that, we are in a bit of a bad spot when it comes to our financials. We may have a little problem here with our cap space going forward. Alarming? I mean, is it really alarming to have only $1 million in cap space right now? We'll see what it looks like in the offseason with penalties, incentives, but there's going to be some significant change, and probably not just Matt Ryan leaving the team. Here were the individual leaders for the team this season. Matt Ryan led us in passing yards and passing touchdowns. Now, Michael Turner, most rushing yards, but Lito Bushrod got the 5 touchdowns. Roddy White, most catches and receiving yards and touchdowns. Brock Foster had 9 sacks, Revis 5 picks. Chris Johnson had 2 kick return touchdowns. Roddy White outperformed Harry Douglas though statistically. Did he really? Because as we went through games, I felt like Harry Douglas became the #1 receiver. But if we check out the stats, Roddy White had a pretty nice season. Obviously, it's ideal if we can just keep both, but for a while I've thought that, alright, we have to move on from Roddy White to keep Harry Douglas. But if we can cut or trade Matt Ryan and not have like a ton of cap penalty or anything, perhaps we can keep both. But we'll just have to see when we get there. There's way too many questions right now, and I want to get to the offseason. What we're about to do this offseason is not what teams typically do when they're going to the playoffs. They'll usually change as little as possible and hope that it just doesn't fall apart. But I want a Super Bowl in this series, and what we do will either get us closer to a Super Bowl or closer to being fired. So obviously, the draft is going to be a big topic. If we want a new quarterback, I'm open to a veteran, I'm open to a trade, open to a rookie. But it's all about what can we do. So this 2013 quarterback class, 2-star. Sleeper player is A. Washington from Florida A&M. Overrated player is Reem from BYU. So we'll want to take a look at least at Washington. Not a great running back or receiver class either. It's great for tight end. Offensive linemen, defensive ends, defensive tackles, corner. If we take a look at the quarterbacks though, there are 3 grades here above a 90 at the moment. The sleeper was Alvin Washington, and he is the 5th ranked quarterback from Florida A&M. Washington has an above average arm, quickness, and upside. But the negatives are toughness, deep accuracy, and learning. He had an 85 production grade in college. We'll find out more here very soon. But I think that if we do a lot of scouting here, we have a good chance of finding somebody if all these grades are fairly accurate. Reem was the overrated player, but just because someone's overrated doesn't mean they're not good. 92 production, high football IQ, accuracy, and learning, but doesn't have great size, arm, or mobility. And when I think about what am I looking for in our next quarterback, some mobility I think would be nice so that we can see some creative plays outside the pocket. How about Shane Botts from Boise State? Above average arm, mobility, and touch, but durability could be a problem. System quarterback and strength. I wonder what system quarterback means in this game. Logan Axelrod is the #1 though, compared to Peyton Manning. Great arm, learning, size, doesn't have the mobility, toughness, or deep accuracy, and I'm imagining he will be off the board pretty early on. The franchise tag, do we want to use this? Well, here's a look at our free agents. Darrelle Revis, Ben Watson, Harry Douglas, Rex Hadnot. The tag on Revis would be interesting at $8.6 million. That doesn't seem to be unreasonable. Let's tag Revis, and if I can't afford it, then it's a tag and trade. Alright, free agency preview. You have to check this beforehand if you want to actually know who is going to be available. But here are all the unrestricted free agents: Amobi Okoye, Randy Moss, Tony Gonzalez. A lot of great players here, a lot of high-rated players. If you want to target quarterback, Matt Hasselbeck, Byron Leftwich, restricted free agent Travis Campbell, which means he'd have to sign an offer sheet and we'd likely be giving up picks to acquire him. Paul Lacey, Jason Campbell, David Garrard. Is there a franchise quarterback here? I'm not convinced. Interesting that Paul Lacey had a really good second year in Minnesota and then he was replaced. I think they have Huckabee or somebody there in Minnesota right now. So he'd be interesting, but he's 28. So if you think about developing, I'm not exactly sure how it works in this game, but typically most of the development happens early on. That awareness is pretty low. I think that's a very important trait in this game, especially when you can't control players, you're just telling them what to do. so I don't think he'd be the starter. Alright, we're going to spend some of our all-star time here looking at quarterbacks. Blake Borelli from Washington has mobility, accuracy, playmaking. That sounds like a nice trio. Ball security, reading defenses, football IQ, those are the negatives. Calvin Johnson tells Adam Schefter that he is very upset about being franchise tagged. I don't know if Revis is upset about it. We'll find out. Here are the quarterback combine workouts. We have a lot of really tall quarterbacks in this class. Logan Axelrod, 6'5", 245. For 40 times, it looks like Washington is the only one that's really going to be a creator outside the pocket with this speed at 4.6. So this is a class full of mostly pocket passers. Ball speed, 60. And that's Axelrod. Yeah, he's just going to be going way too early. I'm really interested, though, in Borelli. I liked his top three. We're looking at 6'3", 210 for him. Looking at 26 vert jump, 14 reps, 54 ball speed, third best here in the class. He may be an option for us. The Combine showed us that Alvin Washington has 82 speed to go with 89 throw power. Don't know his accuracy yet, but I do have a lot of interest. Deep accuracy is a negative, but I'm not too worried about that. For Borelli, 90 throw power at 66 speed. And the Senior Bowl gave us the 83 scouting, though, with very low awareness. I don't think Washington was at the Senior Bowl, so I don't have that data. We're doing our homework, though. We're going to scout them further at the Combine. How about Matt Ream? At the Senior Bowl, we got the 93 accuracy, 85 awareness data. He's 24 years old, and he is the overrated quarterback, but again, overrated doesn't mean bad. It just means you're overrated. And he doesn't have a very strong arm, only 84 throw power. But I think when you have elite accuracy, that's okay. The throw power is not a deal breaker. All right, let's check out the running backs and fullbacks now. For best 40 times, we have a few sub 4.4. We have Michael Dash here, who is the top-rated running back, and 4 others who all ran 4.37 or better, all with pretty similar 3 cones, all with similar bench reps. Michael Dash from Kentucky has 79% scouted here, 99 production with juke, elusiveness, break tackle, great vision, great elusiveness, spin, juke, speed, acceleration. I can't wait to see how high he goes. He's going to be pretty interesting. I don't think I need any more data. I already like him. Scotty Spikes here. He does have some explosiveness in his game as well. He's from Eastern Carolina. He's got the juke, agility, elusiveness, and the speed. We'll scout him a little bit more. Ricky Ray, 95 speed, 94 acceleration. With 75 strength, though, he has that speed-size ratio. So that's why he gets the Darren McFadden comparison. For wide receivers, okay, 6'7" tight ends. I'm like, wait a minute here. 6'5" receiver is the tallest. For 40 time, Tate ran a 4.3. There is more speed at running back in this class than there is at receiver. But Tate here ran a 4.3, Banks a 4.37. They all had very good 20-yard shuttles. 3 cone is solid here. Really want to see more about Tate. Tate is not one of the highest rated players at the position here. You actually have to go down quite a bit to find him. Eric Tate from Ole Miss. Fastest receiver in this class. Definitely somebody who could help out in the return game. Because I'm not anticipating receiver being a major need, I'm mostly scouting the lower rated receivers that might have some hidden upside. We already have, obviously, Roddy White, Harry Douglas, if he stays. We also have Tyshawn Daniels, who I thought had a really nice season. Alright, we have some RFA decisions to make, starting with Eddie Wilson, who's been a backup safety for us. I think I'll tender him at level 1. It's recommended level 2, but I'll go for $970K here. I think like $500,000 wherever you can save it on this team with our salary situation, kind of important. For linebacker, there was only one to run a 4-4, and that was Compton here with a 4-4-6. Really interested in what his skill set looks like here. Compton is an 85 graded inside linebacker from Pittsburgh. +3 speed, yes, I would say so at 4.46, 90 speed. That's kind of all we got to go on though. That's in power moves even, but his pass rush moves are a negative. For D-line, I like our pass rushers. I think I'm always willing to look at a run stuffer or somebody that can get us some interior penetration. So if we look at 3-cone, let's go with the athletes here. Riggs at left end has a pretty good combine here. High vert, good 3-cone, 20-yard shuttle, 30 reps. We definitely have to scout Riggs. He's actually a 52 rated prospect from Troy with great learning. So he could figure things out pretty quickly, it looks like. 91 strength. RFA decision here on Rashad Tisdale, formerly a 5th round pick. I will again go with a level 1 tender. Here's the big one though. That's Torrance Gill. Originally a 4th rounder. And I would need to do, I think, a level 4 tender for him with the way he is panning out. $2.5 million. For DBs, the main thing I look for is size and speed with some man cover ability. Mosley here, 4.38 at 6'2", 220 pounds. Oh yeah, I'm interested in Mosley, Soriano, Knight, and Morgan. Arnez Soriano is the #1 corner, so he's probably not the most realistic for us to acquire, but he is an elite athlete with almost everything there maxed out. Obviously, I want to know more, but not counting on being able to get him. T. Morgan, definitely smaller, but he has the speed, man coverage, and potential. Charles Knight is an 88. Again, excellent speed compared to Nnamdi Asomugha, who was the prototype for man cover corner in this era. Had a lot of great years with the Raiders. I like that we have a couple later players to look at here as well that had good combines. Still looking here. Tavian Hollings from Mid-Tennessee State. He ran a 4.4, so you'd expect more than 87 speed, but it can still work at 6'2". Then there's Tyrone Mosley. He had a really good combine. He's not a corner. He's 6'2", 220, 21 years old, elite athlete. I have a lot of interest, as I think a lot of teams will. Oh man, imagine if he had the man coverage with that 85 press. Gotta look for somebody that I think is a good scheme fit for us. The Senior Bowl gives us some good data here. Maybe I'll scout Jocelyn. Chuck Castle RFA decision. Overall, I think Castle's been alright. I will go with a level 1 tender for him, but I'll definitely be looking to address running back at some point this offseason. For Danny Moore, he's usually inactive for us, so I'm just not going to be tendering him at all. Alright, that was a lot of scouting we did before, so why don't we actually go through some of these more complete scouting profiles. For Matt Ream, again, he doesn't have the strong arm, but he has elite accuracy. He is a problem solver, and I think we have a problem on this team, so just saying that might be a good fit. 24 years old, high football IQ. The accuracy is obviously something that I like a lot. I think all that gave us there was personality traits because it's the combine interviews. So maybe we'll go through more of this a little bit closer to the draft when I can use those individual workouts. Blake Borelli, though, he's humble, he's a team player, Level-headed. He's intimidated. Are you intimidated by becoming a day one starter? Alvin Washington is loyal, trusting, a team player, dependable, optimistic, consistent. We could use consistency at quarterback here. What's his accuracy again? Did I ever get that? I didn't. So I obviously need to make sure that Washington's one of our individual workout players. I have accuracy data on other quarterbacks, but not him. RFA decision on Wade Appling. If we don't have Matt Ryan, I obviously want to make sure we at least have Appling. I at least know what to expect from him. I'm going to be giving him a level 1 tender here. I would take a 3rd round pick in exchange for Appling, so I think that's fair. I'm getting excited for the draft. I think that was fun to go through the combine data like that and then find players I want more info on. So why don't we get ready for free agency now? Team game plan. QB1. They have 2 options for us here, better than Matt Ryan in free agency. I wish that I could have those individual workouts a little bit sooner just to have an idea of how many players I like in the draft for quarterback. All right, what do you say our needs are? What do you got for me? Right end, right outside linebacker, defensive tackle. They list quarterback as our 18th most important need. All right, give us the bad news. Money to spend, $31 million. I could do a lot with $30 million. Let's go. I balanced the budget. Now we have a couple things to look at here. Matt Ryan, 1 year left on his contract, which means the dead money should be minimal if we were to release him. And that, yeah, save 12, pay 6. Fair. I like it. More cap space would be great. But what if we could trade him outright? That's what I want to see. For other top contracts, Waddle's entering his last year. Michael Turner as well. That's kind of a big deal. We have Kerry Rhodes entering the last year of his contract. Roddy White still has 2 years on his deal, and I don't think that his cap number is all that unreasonable. We should be able to keep him around quite easily. It's Harry Douglas that is going to be an unrestricted free agent here shortly, along with Ben Watson. I'm not seeing any deals here that I feel I have to get out of. The Vince Wilfork contract didn't really work out for us, but we got out of that one last season. So I think overall, I think I have us set up to have a fun offseason. So it's all going to start here with Tony Gonzalez, who wants a salary that doesn't seem unreasonable. If we cut Matt Ryan, the money we save could possibly get us somebody like Tony Gonzalez. All right, so what? 10.5. 11. Okay. Tony Gonzalez to Atlanta. Let's go. Let's get a contract going here. I'd prefer a 1-year deal, but we're going to move on from Matt Ryan, and this is basically what that saved money can allow us to do. Ben Watson's a free agent. Tony Gonzalez is available. Gonzalez, one of the greatest tight ends of all time. Let's see if we can come to an agreement here. I'll try something with no incentive. Why don't you just accept this offer? Oh, the best one. How about this one? I accept. All right. Tony Gonzalez to the Falcons. And that was one of our goals to upgrade at tight end, too. Here's the mock draft, by the way. This is actually very important stuff here. So they have Axelrod going number 1 to Carolina. That's probably a done deal. No drama there. And then, when does the next quarterback go? Shane Botts they have at 10 to the Rams. Michael Dash there in the middle. 3 first-round running backs, huh? Wait, where were we? We are at 23. They have us going with Reggie Moore-Jones. So there might only be 2 quarterbacks off the board by the time we select. Matt Ream they have going top of the 2nd round. I kind of like Ream. I haven't really decided yet on which quarterback I like the most. And I don't think Washington is even projected to go in the top 2 rounds. Randy Moss. I have to at least see what's up here. And that's just going to be too much, I think, with us already going after Tony Gonzalez and wanting Harry Douglas to return. So, unfortunately, I will not have a series here with Randy Moss. Don't know that I ever really have. I know I did in the Bryce Wiley left tackle series, but I'm not counting that. Cedric Ellis. Okay, that is a little too much here. I wouldn't mind bringing in another defensive tackle, although it didn't really work out for us the first time I tried that. John Henderson, I think this is still too much. $9 million a season. Watson's available again. And you can probably get him for a little bit less than Tony Gonzalez, but I just could not pass on Gonzalez, and I thought it was a really fair contract. Matt Hasselbeck, I'm not interested in a 1-year solution here that we're not even that sure about. Julius Peppers, I'm at least going to see the contract he's looking for. Might be a little much here. We still have to look at bringing back like Harry Douglas, so gotta save cap space for that. RFA bidding for Travis Campbell. Absolutely not. Tamba Hali, 431. Gotta see these numbers come down. Freeney for 1 year at 8 is really intriguing. But again, I just don't think we can pull it off. Clinton Portis, $7 million. Just getting an idea of what the top players at certain spots are looking for, because there are, you know, some mid-tier free agents I might have interest in at the right price. By the way, we signed Tony Gonzalez. Why don't we check out his ratings at this point in the series? Probably should have done that earlier, but it's weird how they go about it in this game. 93 overall for one of the greatest tight ends in league history. 15,000 yards here in the series, coming off a couple down years in Miami after almost 2,000 yards in 2010. So what do we got for some ratings here then? 69 speed. Now that sounds like really, really bad signing there. However, I will say, I don't think the speed at tight end matters a whole lot in this game. I think as long as you have good catching, you're going to be able to make a few plays here, and I'm not really looking at having my tight ends be field stretchers anyway. I think for the role I have them in, Gonzalez in this speed can still get it done, but we'll see. That is pretty low speed. I was hoping it'd at least still be like 75. We'll have to see about that one. Goal completed, upgrade at right end. That must be Gill getting, yep. He signed his tender. So I was actually ignoring these goals because I'm kind of at the point where I'm like, my approval's fine. I can kind of get away with whatever I want to do here, like move on from Matt Ryan. And I'm like 2 for 3, not even trying. So I might even fail this one and not care because it'll just take away approval I already got. I still got a net gain. Wait, trading is open now. There are some trades popping up, so I'd like to look at getting Matt Ryan on the trade block. Add to trade block. There we go. And I guess it already has a couple players on there that I don't want on the block. All right, here we go. This is Harry Douglas free agent time. 4 years, 25. Oh, I would love that. We need to win. We just won. Like that easily? For like $5 million a season? I thought this would get to like 9. Haven't I already franchise tagged him for like that before? He could definitely reach that first incentive there. There's gonna be some incentives in the deal. No way he takes those lesser contracts. Let's go with this one. Accepted. A little bit smaller signing bonus. We still have $18 million this season to spend, and we have not cut Matt Ryan or anything, so treat it more like $24 million. Could we bring in Vernon Golston and get him his first career sack? Ooh, 64 overall. Not for 5 years. There are plenty of players I'd love to sign for like 1 year, but these demands for 5-year contracts, I just don't want to get into those. Rod Coleman, 85 overall, 1 year. This is perfect. Rod Coleman, I have 30 seconds. Can I check out the free agency preview? I want to see his stats. That's the wrong one. Oh boy, I don't even know if I have the time to be doing this. Oh, the preview isn't even showing this year anymore. Well, let's go back to Rod Coleman then. 85 overall. Let's join. 2.6, 2.8, $3 million? I just don't know why they don't just show you ratings right off the bat there. We could really use an NFL head coach 3. All right, 1 year, $3 million, a couple incentives in there. I like that. I wonder if Rod Coleman's contract demand had anything to do with him not being 100% and recovering from an injury here. His right leg's at 11%, his left leg's at 12%. That would make sense why he'd only sign a 1-year deal, but I'm not sure if the game is even that advanced. Wait a minute. Firebreadchildress.com? What's going on in Minnesota? Alright, we're on to individual workouts now for the draft. And I want to start with quarterback Alvin Washington. We'll unlock everything for him. We might spend it on all 3 quarterbacks that I have shown interest in. We may make one a first-round pick. Free agent bid here, Dino Peters. Looking at a 5-year contract. I think we are going to move on. We have Ballard, we have Boley. I don't want to get into a 5-year deal right now. Rod Coleman tells the NFL Network that he's considering retirement. So maybe he's actually not going to play for us at all. Nobody has yet offered a trade for Matt Ryan. Maybe it's time for us to take the initiative here and look for what we can get. No teams are currently interested. Can I even offer? I guess I have to wait to see if anybody gives us an offer. Like, we have an offer here for Rashad Tisdale. So, what are we looking at here in an offer? 5th round pick, 6th round pick. Not bad, but I don't think defensive tackle's all that deep for us, so I'll just keep him. The draft is approaching. Nobody has given us a single trade offer for Matt Ryan at this stage. I suppose we'll wait until preseason, see if there's anything I want to do with the cap space, and maybe cut him there, but I was really hoping we could trade him for at least something. Mid-round pick, whatever. Alright, we are on to the draft, and before we get into it, well, I guess I should at least join the draft here. I don't want anything to be simmed or whatever, but I do want to go through the quarterbacks that I have been looking at here to talk about who I like the most. Now, Schefter's going to be interrupting me, and I'll actually stop for him. The draft coverage here is actually really cool, but let's check out our draft board here and go through these quarterbacks. I have scouted completely 3 of them. Let's start with Alvin Washington, who was the sleeper in this class. Learning is low, but I think you can get by as long as you have time there. Above average arm, quickness, upside, accuracy at 65 though. That is really, really low and probably a deal breaker, as we're looking for potentially a day 1 starter. For Blake Borelli, we have seen 83 accuracy for him, which is decent, 90 throw power, mobility, accuracy, potential's 87. Washington's is 86. Matt Ream is 84. So, are we getting a massive upgrade over Matt Ryan? Potentially no. With Ream, I do like that he has the high awareness and accuracy right away.
Arnaz Soriano was Mr. Everything for the Florida State Seminoles, leading the nation with 13 interceptions. His game has no flaws, and he's the perfect size at 6 foot 190 pounds. He's very physical in press coverage and has good zone awareness as well. Soriano made the right decision to come out early, since his stock may never be higher than it is now. He should be easy to sign too. His father is acting as his agent, and he has already publicly said there will be no holdout. Dad knows best, and Dad is going to get this deal done.
They didn't take Axelrod. We're not having to face him. But the Cardinals won't trade up with me. I'll try. But it takes someone to be willing to trade. Alright, let's go through some more players here. I think running back could be something we look at, and I have a couple fully scouted. Scotty Spikes compared to D'Angelo Williams. 81 potential, jukes, agility, elusiveness. 5'9", 191. Does have some explosiveness in his game. There was also a really interesting running back here from Portland State. Kemba Clayton, 88 potential. With 91 speed, not as dynamic, but good vision, and could be a decent all-around running back. And he would be probably a late-round pick. I decided to scout those wide receivers fully, the ones that were really athletic. Eric Tate, 69 potential, 61 catching, pretty much just a kick returner. Chad Montgomery from Minnesota is kind of interesting. He does have good hands compared to Hines Ward. Not the fastest receiver, but might be somebody that we could develop for a while, and he can block. Compared to Hines Ward, that would be really cool. I didn't see who went number 2. What happened now? Harris. No way back-to-back corners went. Can we trade up? Nope, not yet. So 2 corners off the board already. Soriano and Darrell Harris. Interesting how this draft has started.
Logan Axelrod is the next in a long line of Notre Dame quarterbacks taken in the first round. He's your prototype strong-arm field general with decent mobility. Not great, but decent. Axelrod had a respectable but average regular season with 3,100 passing yards, 22 scores, and 17 picks. At one point, Axelrod was the golden child, especially after an outstanding senior classic, combine, and workouts. I hate to say it, but I'm not really an Axelrod fan. I didn't see him perform during the regular season when he had lots of chances to prove his worth. This might blow up in my face bad when Axelrod accepts his second NFL MVP award somewhere down the road, but I just don't see it happening. That's me. Everybody's got their own opinion. That's mine. Axelrod, don't see it.
Since when does Schefter have the hard-hitting analysis? All right. Now, one thing to think about here with Carolina is that they might go quarterback round 2. So if you're thinking, hey, we can wait, I'm not convinced. Oh my God, New England took a tight end. Jerron McCarty, a tight end at number 4. I want the breakdown. So the mock draft already not going that well, but they got the tight end right. Jerron McCarty to the Patriots. Now, the next spot for quarterback apparently to look out for would be the Rams. Harris already went. He was projected 11th. I feel like these grades keep changing on me. Rodney Compton, I had fully scouted him. He had all the speed at linebacker, 80 potential. Really liked what I saw earlier. The Senior Bowl scouting, though, not that impressive. And you'd hope he could have some cover ability to go with that speed, but that doesn't appear to be the case. I scouted kickers, by the way, because I still think that's a problem for us. 83 accuracy here for Roger Mason. He wasn't my favorite kicker, though. There were other kickers who had accuracy in their top 3. Let's see if we can do a little bit better. Unfortunately, I only have data on 2 players, and they didn't have accuracy in their top skills here. So maybe somebody like Alex O'Neal would be good, but we'd just be guessing, really. Which in the 7th round, I don't mind. Alright, so Jacksonville just picked. They went with Kellen Crumpler, the right end. 99 overall. Not sure what it'll actually end up being here, but he was a 99 overall prospect.
Jeremiah Grant came out of nowhere this year, going from redshirt sophomore middle linebacker to sophomore sensation running back and first-round pick. Grant's resume was built on the strength of the last 4 games he started at tailback to end the season. Despite the limited action, those 4 games were all it took for Grant to impress the scouts. His numbers were impressive. 4 games, 1,080 rushing yards, 12 touchdowns. Grant ended up a second all-conference running back despite only qualifying for those 4 games. Just think what he might be able to do in those 16 games.
So he hardly had any experience, converted from linebacker, and is now the first running back taken in the draft. I would love to see his ratings at running back. That is incredible. He goes over Michael Dash. Where was he in the mock draft? Jeremiah Grant. All right, this was about where they expected.
Tennessee corner T. Morgan is a great story. 4 years ago, 16-year-old T. Morgan was known as Me Torgan 422 when he played Madden 2008 online. T was one of the best, winning competition after competition, including the biggest one of them all, the Madden Challenge. Morgan now admits playing Madden helped him understand the basic concepts of a cover 2 defense, which he in turn applied on the field in real life. T. Morgan now spends 100% of his time playing real football, and he locks down wide receivers that usually tower over him. He stands 5'8", weighs 180 pounds, which is not your prototype cornerback size, but his 4.22 240 time at the combine more than makes up for any size deficiencies.
He ran a 4.22? Oh my. I love these breakdowns. This is like the best part of the whole game.
Michael Dash is a shifty downhill runner with great burst through the hole who's fast enough to consistently get to the corner. He's got good straight line speed, but his 4.49 40 at the combine was actually a bit of a disappointment after Dash promised he'd run in the 4.3 range. He didn't exactly live up to his word. He led the Kentucky Wildcats to its first league rushing title in 35 years with 1,600 yards and 17 touchdowns. He's not much of a receiver out of the backfield, and he'll never be mistaken for a great student when it comes to mastering the playbook.
All right, so Dash was supposed to run a little bit faster. He is the second running back off the board. Now we're at number 9 here. We're getting close to potentially the second quarterback taken. Here's Reggie Moore-Jones. I actually have him fully scouted, and he was the player projected to go to us, but he has only 79 potential, 54 awareness, low coverage. He has hit power and some speed, but that is not where we're going to go in the first round. I have Raleigh Charles here fully scouted compared to Derek Brooks, 83 potential, 6'4", 255, very good athleticism. Coverage is supposed to be a negative, but 61, you could do worse. But 37, man coverage, not very promising. I have Jarvis Conroy fully scouted, 85 potential corner with 6'2", height, good press, 75 man, 88 press. I like him a lot. Unfortunately, I think he'll be going somewhere else, as we probably have to go quarterback in the first round, especially as Carolina did not. That kind of forces us to earlier. I have a tackle fully scouted, D'Angelo Barkley from USC, probably off the board very early. Does have a couple weaknesses with pass block footwork, and the awareness is a bit low right away. Jared Putnam from Michigan State. Low awareness, low footwork on both, but decent potential, and some other okay ratings. Oh, I didn't even realize we're on pick 12. Out of nowhere, Schefter hasn't said anything in a while. Julio Osgood to the Vikings at number 11. I missed who the Rams took and whoever picked before them. So we saw Armand Dixon go to the Broncos, and then Shane Botts does go to the Rams as expected. So we're still just waiting to see if we can get a quarterback at our pick. Tight end, Travell Joseph goes to Green Bay. Another wide receiver has been taken, Devon Nordberg. Calvin Beatty goes to the Browns. Oh, they traded with the Raiders. Okay, division rival trades up.
There's real boom or bust potential when you talk about Penn State's Dominique James. At only 19 years old, James is still relatively young in football years, and he didn't start playing football until his senior year in high school. He's got great size at 6'4", 310. He closes fast to the ball, and he hits with great power too. The issue with Jacobs is experience. He only started 8 games this season, but when he got the chance to play, he stepped right into the starting job and really produced.
Seattle traded up for a tight end, Andre Kennison from Miami. Running back, Spud Westbrook to the Chargers. Tackle, Vernon Kennedy to the Bengals. Cornerback, Jarvis Conroy.
Darnell Dansby out of Southern California is a playmaker safety who will intercept the ball and then start looking to make a big play on the return. I've even seen him lateral the ball to a teammate at the last possible second to keep the play alive. Dansby is very similar to former Hurricane and current Baltimore Raven Ed Reed. He's got great ball hawk instincts and coverage, and he's been known to dish out some punishment with his vicious hits. Dansby was the USC defensive captain for the last 2 seasons, and his teammates considered him the QB of the defense. He even made all the audible calls in the secondary. Guy's smart, guy makes plays, guy will be a big-time fit in somebody's defense.
I want all these players on my team. I love those. Running back, Trey Blake. And now 1 pick before us.
Coach, they want to trade down. Are we interested?
Was this like the Trent Richardson trade and the Mitch Trubisky trade? Yeah, they went safety. Jeff Barksdale. All right, we're on the clock. Pick 23, everybody. Suggested Marquand Redding compared to Rod Coleman, and we just signed him. Okay, we're at 23 right now. So 31 for a 7. Get out of here. We've talked about the quarterback position and what we can do moving forward. I like Matt Ream. The high football IQ, the accuracy is always nice, the learning, but his potential is only an 84. There's also going to be Blake Borelli, who has a bit higher potential, but on day 1, his awareness is only a 45 compared to 85. It's going to take multiple years to get to 85 for Borelli, but his ceiling is ultimately higher. Alvin Washington, I just don't think has the accuracy or awareness to play on day 1. I think that as we're looking for somebody to start right away, easily the best fit has to be Matt Ream. And I don't know if Borelli's upside, his potential at 87, is enough to take him instead, considering his awareness is a lot lower, 40 points lower. His accuracy is a lot lower by 10. Ream might not have the highest potential, but with great awareness and accuracy right away, I don't see how his overall rating is going to be something that really hurts him. He doesn't have the great mobility or anything. Neither does Borelli. He's just slightly faster. Ream has the football IQ. And although his arm is not the strongest, that is the main difference here. The 6-point difference in throw power. How much of that would actually hold Ream back? I'm not counting on it being a serious enough difference. Our first round pick is Matt Ream.
Matt Ream wasn't drafted because of his arm strength or athletic skill set, but rather for his decision-making and accuracy. Ream is the perfect fit to run a West Coast-style offense, as he possesses an excellent mental capacity and very accurate arm. He passed for over 8,000 yards the past 2 seasons at BYU, and he thrives under pressure, evidenced by his 10 fourth-quarter comebacks during his 29-6 BYU career. Ream is a team player who has a knack for making everyone around him better.
That is exactly what we need. Somebody who does well under pressure, is accurate, and can just get the job done for us. And with our defense and our skill players, we don't need the best quarterback in the league. Now, we do have a failed goal here. I knew right away I was taking somebody. Wait a minute. Don't draft a bust. 92 potential. Was our GM wrong? Did he have the potential off? That is the thing. Like, the higher their skill, the more accurate their potential projections are. Let's check this out. We might actually have an even better quarterback than I expected. I can't look at developed staff right now, but I think that's probably what happened there. We don't get, like, guaranteed potential. They're still projections. Just the best we're going to get at the time. I might have been able to take a quarterback later, but again, the Panthers are looking for one. They're right here. And what do? I think they end up going quarterback here. Will they take Blake Borelli? Wide receiver, Reggie O'Neal. So they go in a completely different direction. Who did the mock draft have us taking in the second round now? They predicted we would take Melvin Blackwood, linebacker. I don't know why the game always wants me to address linebacker. Now, as we wait for our next pick, is there anybody that we like that is worth moving up for, that we have a lot of scouting on? Eric Gwaltney, potential tackle, football IQ. The zone coverage is at 65. The man coverage only 42. I would totally consider him. Braylon Booker from Virginia has 80 potential. Great size and production. Tackle, strength, great block shed. So he would actually be a defensive tackle for us. All right, Jacksonville has selected a quarterback. Alvin Washington off the board. He goes 37th overall. I just didn't feel good about waiting until the end of the second round to address this major need. Very interested in what the Panthers do. Is there a reason they didn't take Axelrod? Like, let's check out their roster quick. Maybe they signed Matt Hasselbeck and they're saying that's going to fix the problem. Their quarterbacks, Travis Campbell, Raymond Martin. All right, the Chargers just took Gwaltney. I liked him. Don't really feel like moving up, so we'll just see who's there when we're on the clock. Ah, there goes Spikes. Scotty Spikes is off the board. He would have been somebody I consider here in the second round. Baltimore took a quarterback as well, Jake Bunning from Georgia. So a couple here in the second round, and now we're on the clock again. Raleigh Charles. I don't think we're going with a linebacker in this spot.
They won our draft spot.
Who does? For a 7th round pick, right? Yep. All right, top rated player here is Bryce Sherry. His speed is only 88, which is fine if you have other strengths, but I just don't have the data on him. Charles, that was the player they recommended. Athleticism, instincts, motor. He does have some skills I like, but I just think we can do something else in the second round to make us better. Borelli's still available. He didn't go yet. Reggie Fuller here is interesting. We don't need a tackle right now, but planning for the future, somebody like Fuller would help solidify the offensive line for years to come. Here's an interesting option here from Tennessee, Derek Boyd. 87 speed at tight end. He has great run block footwork and pass block footwork and speed. So you might be getting a very balanced tight end. I do like Tatum. And we just got Gonzalez. Let's take a look at Brad Tatum's ratings quick. What do we think about him? Tatum's a 74th, 80 potential. He has 86 speed, so very similar. And in terms of the blocking, His blocking isn't as good, so kind of just a receiving threat at tight end. Not sure that's the best route for us to go in the second round, but an interesting player nonetheless. I don't think we have a lot of needs for starters right now, so we can think about just like projecting future starters. Jamal Talley here compared to Dre Bly with great man coverage and hands, 83 man coverage. Pretty good speed as well. I'm definitely considering him. Here's somebody I like a lot, Kenneth Dibbles. He is 6'5", 271 pounds, only 21 years old. Potential is one of his best positives. I don't have his potential unlocked, but he has a well-rounded skill set here. Power moves, finesse moves, block shed, and he's a good athlete. He's somebody that could develop and be one of our key defensive linemen off the bench. I think I want to go with him. Kenneth Dibbles is our second round pick. Oh, we just got a goal unlocked, I guess. Fans had an approval change of +7. The fans love that pick. What do they think about the quarterback? Talley just went. Jamal Talley just went off the board to Kansas City. But I think there were other cornerbacks I still like. None as much as him. But I think that adding a defensive lineman was a bit more important. Alright, so day one is done. I'm pretty happy with how it started for us. Have a quarterback, have a new versatile defensive lineman. What else can we do here? I'd like to add a running back soon. That's a center going to Carolina. Maybe they won't take quarterback. I suppose if they saw it as a major need, they would have just taken Axelrod. Maybe they're happy with who they have. On the clock. Pick 87. Bo Witherspoon. I just took an end. There are some good offensive linemen that could be future starters. That is definitely intriguing. Jared Putnam I liked a lot. 84 potential in the third round with great strength. I mean, that would be tough to not take here. Witherspoon was the one they recommended, but I don't have much info on him. I still really want to come away with a running back, and I really like Kemba Clayton, but I think he could be there in the fourth round. So what I think we'll do here is we're going to take Jared Putnam. We're going to get somebody we can develop into a future starter for our interior. Approval goes up again. Fans give us a +14 for that one. Quarterback. Chicago took Derek Barnes here toward the end of the third round. Wait a minute. Did I miss one of the quarterbacks going? I definitely did. I've been going through menus this entire time, so Borelli went somewhere. I'll find out where. Borelli went right at the end of the second round. All right, the defending champions, a second round quarterback. Interesting choice. Quarterback. Carolina took one in the fourth round. Bo Holloway. So, two different approaches here. We didn't want Matt Ryan. I don't know what they felt about Travis Campbell, but we took a quarterback in the first round. They didn't even take one number 1 overall. They wait until 97 overall in the fourth. Bo Holloway. Really looking at a running back right now, and it looks like Kemba Clayton still, fourth highest rated or fifth out of all available running backs. I don't think we're going to need to trade up. But a punter just went to Tampa Bay. That's pretty interesting. Andre Wheaton. This is going to be like Russell Wilson all over again. Which great quarterback's getting taken after the punter? Alrighty, fourth round. I know what I want to do here. Still trying to get me to draft a linebacker. I want to select a running back. So we have 2 running backs here that are fully scouted. And I think you could take either one. Darian Busey and Kemba Clayton. So with Darian Busey, you get 95 speed, 95 acceleration, 84 potential, He has a little bit of trucking, spin, juke. Really interesting skill set. His ball carrier vision's at 72, awareness is 33. With Kemba Clayton, you get great learning. I think they both have great learning. Yeah. So it's not a major advantage. Potential is a little bit higher. His vision right away is going to be higher. So will his awareness. His trucking and spin aren't quite as high, but he still has the juke at 87, so he has a creative move. 91 speed, 86 acceleration, and also less strength. So Clayton, probably a better day one player, a little bit less explosive, but they say he has a higher ceiling and better vision. Busey, more big play upside potentially. And, you know, maybe great power as well. Maybe just great all around. Neither have great hands, but receiving backs in this game aren't really a thing. For durability, looks good for Clayton. Looks a little bit worrisome for Busey there with his legs. I think here I'm going to go with Kemba Clayton. Busey has more big play upside, but I like the pick here. 82 overall. Draft goal completed here. We get a sleeper. 88 potential. So is that the true potential? I think that would have to be. But then why did it tell me I failed the goal with 92 on Matt Ream? That's kind of weird. You could have gone either way there. What do you think? Which running back was the right pick? To me, it was very close, but the injury concerns were definitely a tiebreaker. There might even be a situation where I end up with both, and we have the room on the roster for both of them. Ah, there he goes. Chargers got him at 141. Darian Busey. Well, I've already selected a guard, so once again, not taking your suggestions. We've drafted a lot for the offense already. I feel like it's time to give the defense a little love. What do we have here at DB? I scouted a lot of corners. Julian Ford. Man coverage was a negative. I have a lot of data on him. Don't think he's a great fit. Jason May. 73 press, 64 man. It's late in the draft, so somebody like him could be the pick. Tavian Hollings. Scouted him, 87 speed. He had the 6'2 size. Don't have Senior Bowl on him, though. Interesting coverage here from Solomon Babbitt. You don't normally see coverage that good for a linebacker in this game. That is really intriguing. 85 speed to go with it. 40 learning. 35 awareness, so he wouldn't play early. There were also some defensive tackles I scouted here. How about Darius Wilkes? 96 strength and 70 speed. I just don't have a lot more than that. Very good strength. Oh, here we go. Senior Bowl. Power moves, block shed. He's somebody we might come back to. He's ranked the 246 prospect. Babbitt's the 175th. We're going to take Babbitt here, the coverage linebacker. That's your replacement for Dino Peters. A punter?
This is
Almost. I want a
here.
kicker. I don't want a kicker right now, though. I want Darius Wilkes and that strength and that well-rounded skill set. Wilkes is the pick. The Dolphins have like 48 picks here in the 7th round. Seriously, what have they done? They had 2 firsts. They had a 3, a 4, a 5, another 5, and 5 7th round picks. Okay, Rick Spielman must be their GM. Interesting. He was actually with the Dolphins front office before he was in Minnesota.
They won our draft.
So let's go to the 7th round now. What are we going to do at 215? Do we have a kicker option? Accuracy. Alex O'Neal has a +3 though. 3 is more than 2. 289 versus 300. Solomon Evans. I don't care about football IQ. Can you kick between the goalpost? 85 kick power. Alex O'Neal has 83. What would tilt me more? Missing a 37-yard game-tying field goal wide left? Or coming up short on the 50-yard try in mild wind? Although, I mean, their kick power is practically the same. A little bit different. It's just rolling the dice here. Who do you think has better accuracy? I think I did fully scout one kicker, and he is gone already. So I have 3 choices. Dustin Benjamin, 84 power. He just doesn't have accuracy as a positive. It's actually a major negative for him. We're going to go with Alex O'Neal. 1 production. So we're taking a backup kicker, essentially. Washburn's backup kicker, Alex O'Neal, is drafted by the Falcons. I am pretty happy overall with this offseason. I like the quarterback that we've gotten. I like the draft overall, too. Able to add a playmaker, some players for the future, some good front 7 depth. I am pleased with this. I know we're going to have to make some free agent signings, and that's where I think maybe cutting Matt Ryan happens next episode as we fill out the roster. I think we only have like 3 healthy or 3 wide receivers, period. So here's a look at the roster again. We have 3 quarterbacks here. It's not going to show any rookies. 2 running backs. Chuck Castle, there's going to be a new rookie to compete with there. Castle, by the way, 88 speed. Turner, 87. He must have regressed. So it looks like our new running back is going to be our fastest. 3 receivers, but we only need depth receivers. These 3 are our top 3, and they'll stay that way. I like the tight ends that we have. Might need to add a little bit of depth here along the O-line. And potentially, you know, that guard, depending on how good he is. Palmer's only an 83, so we'll see if he has a chance to start. For D-line here, it was a little thin, so I'm really happy we added 2 players. We have Tribble. Hopefully Rod Coleman doesn't actually retire on us. At linebacker, there's Ballard. There's Boley. So I wasn't too worried about who else we'd have. We can always play Puzzluzny too. He still has 87 potential. Not sure he'll get there. At corner, this was an interesting corner class. A lot of players fit our scheme well. Most of them weren't elite talents though, so it was like good 4th round caliber corners, I felt. Still have Revis and Waddle. Jason Hendricks is developing. He has that 84 potential. McLean has 82, so that's why I didn't really address it. I don't have to take away play time from these guys or draft somebody who won't get it themselves. And then at safety, Dawkins and Rhodes, they're good. We'll add a backup. And then Star Aldridge, I'm trying to replace him. What's his accuracy at? 88. That's supposed to be pretty good. Maybe we're just supposed to be developing him. He was a rookie after all. But he just missed a lot of big kicks late. Although he never missed an extra point. Maybe one more year will work out. Unless Washburn's backup kicker I drafted is a game changer. We have no punter. That's why they wanted me to take one. I'll find a punter. All right, UDFAs before we wrap all this up for today. Hope you enjoyed the offseason, everybody. I really did. Let's see here. Corwin Tryon. Do I want to take an inexperienced punter? Of course I do. All right, who's going to be a wide receiver that gets a chance to make the team? Wally Banks compared to Hester. I did some scouting on him. Let's top Indy there. This is getting intense here with Indianapolis as we do get Wally Banks. We also got Tryon here, the punter. Tavian Hollings ended up going undrafted, and I definitely had some interest in him, so we're going to try to bring him in now. All right, UDFA signings wrapped up now. We have 6 more players on the team. I thought it was 6 anyway. Maybe it's only 5. Yeah, let's go to our GM quick here on this thing, because potential is one of those tricky ratings. What does it all mean? Is it even accurate? Well, for potential evaluation, quarterback's a 3 out of 5. That's where we might have seen a little bit of a surprise there. It's important to know what your GM is good at when it comes to the scouting. And I wonder if the regular season scouting relates to these traits here, where it's like, all right, here are the 3 things we like, the 3 things we don't. Just something to think about. We have a GM that's really good for like unlocking a lot of this information, but you have to question how accurate that information is. So that wraps up the offseason basically. We're going to get to more in the preseason as we look to move on from Matt Ryan officially, see if we can get a trade done. I think that I just have to cut him even if we have the cap space. Like, I just can't end up talking myself into playing Ryan again and going through that whole situation. We've had a fine run, 3 playoff appearances, but we just want to go a step further, and now I hope we have a quarterback that can get us there. So training camp, preseason, all that good stuff is coming up next here on NFL Head Coach 09 with the Atlanta Falcons. Thank you all for watching and supporting. This was a very fun offseason. Let me know what you thought of it down below in the comment section. Please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll have more head coach coming your way soon. We're going to be doing a lot more episodes as I have the last week. Have a great day, everybody. See you soon.